Welcome to Municipal Elections Medicine Hat 2025. I'm your host. My name is Wesley Pratt, and joining me today is Don Fedoruk, who's throwing his hat in the ring to run for councillor in the upcoming election. Welcome, Don. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Wes.
It's a pleasure. Well, we have a few questions to ask you today so people can learn a bit more about you. Starting off, can you tell us a little bit about how your path led you to politics? What path got you into politics? What made you make the decision?
Well, actually, this will be my first foray into politics, and I was asked by a member of the business community to put my name forward, and that was seconded by my wife, who's been my number one encourager. So that's
well, congratulations. We need that kind of.
Yes, it's good to have your wife's support and your children's support as well.
What kind of research or real-world business experience do you bring to the table? Have you had any experience in public or non-public boards, or have you been a member of any previous municipal political organizations or advice groups or anything? Well,
currently I'm on the board of Medicine Hat Taekwondo Youth Foundation. In the past, I was with the company Spitz Sunflower Seeds. I was on the board of directors with Spitz Sunflower Seeds. And one of my own companies, I was on the board of directors, Sway Beds International. So there's my background with the boards. I really, if you go back to the beginning, I used to be a counselor at an Oak Hills Boys Ranch. It housed 16 Native children, inner city children from Edmonton. I'm from Edmonton. And I worked with those 16 individuals at a boys ranch, and that gave me a little bit of grounding in the social work world. I went on to become a social worker with Edmonton Social Services, and then I moved to Medicine Hat and was hired by Alberta Social Services. And part of my duties there was, as a social worker, I was licensing daycares. I was the liaison to the brand new group home that was opened up here. I was also a juvenile probation officer. Now, from there, the road gets a little bit twisted. The road is straight.
As do all of ours over life.
The road is straight, but the journey is twisted.
Right.
And I got into different businesses and entrepreneur type businesses ever since. I've been, I've been an owner operator of a taxi business. Before that, I was with Spitz Sunflower Seeds as a partner, a shareholder, and on the board of directors. And I was the national market manager. I looked after sales, marketing, logistics, across Canada and throughout the United States. I was also worked overseas. I marketed product. I worked at a U.S. office in Manila, and I was marketing a catalyst product that was shown to reduce emissions in gas, diesel, biodiesel, ethanol vehicles. And I also worked under the direction of John Molson III. He has a company, a nutraceutical company, and I was marketing that product overseas as well to oncologists, immunologists, and I worked under his direction. So I've had a little bit of experience in sales and marketing. As a business owner, over the last of a 30-year span, I've had 11 restaurants I've owned and operated in Brooks, Redcliffe, and Medicine Hat. And I'm also now a student of Taekwondo martial arts, so that's my latest occupation. So those are the types of experiences that I've had and I'll be bringing to council should I become elected. I'm fortunate enough to
Thank you. That's quite a skill base that you brought along with you, and international and national. That's really great. What are the three top issues you're hearing from voters as you go around canvassing?
I hear about transportation issues. I hear about affordability issues, and about the unhoused and issues as well. Those are the three that I'm hearing about. in addition to those, one of my main priorities would be safety in the city and reduction of crime. So that's my own personal priority, and maybe that comes from my background being a social worker and being a juvenile probation officer.
So would you consider that your sort of number one priority?
That would be
in
my number
addition?
one, is
Okay.
that to help Medicine Hat become a safe city and deal with the problems that have led to it being as unsafe as it is.
Thank you. The next question refers to taxes. Most candidates tend to say they won't raise taxes or they'll freeze taxes. However, recognizing that they are essential fund bases or for program infrastructures and services, how would you foresee, if you chose to not raise or freeze taxes, how would you see dealing with less money?
I'm not in the category of most candidates that say no increase in property taxes. I know that we've just had two back-to-back tax increases, one coming up here that's going to be 5.6%. And I believe that after we go through those increases, that we should have tax increases more or less tied in with inflation at the 1 to 2%. Something that's more, that doesn't hit people by surprise on their tax bills. And some of those, when it's a 5.6% increase, it's very significant. I don't think we want to do that. We want to come up with budgets that are in the 1 to 2%, if at all possible.
Good, thank you. What do you believe is the role and purpose of the mayor and council members?
They are tasked with legislating. They are tasked with budget matters, formulating a budget and coming up with a budget, and also with social concerns. So those are the three main areas of governance, and that's mayor and city councilors.
What do you feel sets you apart from the other candidates?
Well, one project that I have that I haven't seen anybody else come forward with is looking into the possibility of establishing two police substations in Medicine Hat. One where the CCANs used to be, so it's high visible area, and a second one would be in the Flats area on North Railway, close to the underground pass. Somewhere in that area. We're talking a very low budget operation, maybe a couple of ATCO trailers or some kind of temporary trailers on a pilot project, and have those staffed by foot patrol and bicycle patrol police. So they park their vehicles, they're now patrolling the entire downtown core, and they're also patrolling the entire Flats area from North Railway into all the way deep into 1200 block of Elm Street, 1200 block on Balmoral, this type of area. So now you've got foot patrols, and those substations are manned at the same time. So 24-hour police substations operational that now give a lot of visibility for the police, a lot of contact with the community. They're seeing now their dollars at work. And the businesses that are existing are going to be a lot more happy that they're going to see a less reduction in vandalism, petty crime, social disorders, because now you've got foot patrols and a substation that's 24 hours. This is one of my things that I'd like to really explore. Mm-hmm. I think that cost-wise, again, I talked about the trailers. The city probably owns these trailers. Mm-hmm. It'd be very easy to procure them. And we're not doing any extra hires in the way of police force. We're using the existing police force that we have. We're just having them go on foot in the downtown core and in the Flats area on a 24-hour basis. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things that I'd like to emphasize and see come to fruition.
Mm-hmm. So that's something that you would see doing that differently, hasn't been brought up so far by other candidates. So that's a good idea. Very good.
I think it would, not only would it help the businesses that are existing, But if I'm a potential businessman looking to come downtown or looking to set up in the Flats area, knowing that I've got a police substation that's open 24 hours, accessible, and added police, I think that would entice me to set up my business downtown or in the Flats area. And if after the end of a 1 or 2 year pilot project, we see that it was successful, we get community feedback, and the crime rate's been altered, and the businesses are happy with that, then we could look at establishing it on a more permanent basis and maybe expanding it to other areas.
Good point. Recognizing that everybody makes mistakes, both as individuals and parts of groups, how would you identify that you've made a mistake, and how would you ensure accountability for that mistake?
Well, one of the things that I've learned being a student of Taekwondo, respect is woven throughout the classes that you're taking. Respect for one another, respect for your instructors, for the masters, and learning that respect is important for working with other members of the council. If you make a mistake, obviously you owe up to the mistake. You're already going to be in a humble position, so you've made a mistake, you acknowledge the mistake, and I've adopted, over the many years, an attitude of fix and go. Let's fix the problem, let's fix the mistake, and let's move on. There's no sense in anything else other than fix and go. That's my mindset.
Very good, thank you. What does collaboration mean to you?
Well, again, respect. And bringing into the fold a respectful mindset, and not having an ego that needs to be bruised or worried about. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. For collaboration, we need to see the other person's point of view. We need to understand where they're coming from. We can agree to disagree and still be friends and still move forward from that. So that's part and parcel of what I think involves.
So how would you plan to collaborate with your fellow new colleagues, the city administration, the community partners, regional municipalities, and provincial and federal governments?
Well, I would be on their same page with advocating for our city and advocating for partnerships with provincial and federal agencies and nonprofits. I would be an advocate, like I'm sure most of the others are. Maybe the differences will come in as to where the emphasis is laid, and that can be worked out. That shouldn't be a stumbling block whatsoever. So that's how I see my role would be.
Very good. The current city council just voted in favor of a large raise for the salaries of councillors. Given that the current local economy and affordability challenges that are facing many citizens, many of whom have not seen raises for quite a while, if elected, would you put forward a motion to reduce the salary of councillors? If so, why? And if you weren't, why not?
If elected, the answer is yes. I would put forward a motion to reduce it. I understand the mechanism that's in place that gives the raise to councillors in a prescribed manner. There's a process as to how this has come up. But I also understand that perception is reality, and I think a lot of people are thinking that this is already too much. We're all tightening our belts, and I don't think that, I think the perception out there is that this is not a good move. So I would put forward that motion. I would also look into other cities and other municipalities and see where they are at with councils on a similar population base. And even so, even after looking into that and getting that information, I think because perception is reality, I would still put forward that motion to have those raises rescinded.
Thank you. If elected, how as a member of City Council will you make the effort, or what effort would you make to encourage population and business growth in town?
Back to my police substations idea of having 2 police substations on a trial basis. I think that would encourage other businesses to come to Medicine Hat, knowing that we prioritize safety And I think by doing so, when you bring other businesses into Medicine Hat, you're increasing your tax base. So now you're getting more people coming here, moving here, taking up residence here, and operating businesses here, and that will help with our tax base to keep it so that we can keep it at under 2% if at all possible.
Very good, thank you. The Medicine Hat United Ratepayers Association and many citizens are asking for an end to the municipal consent and access, the MCAF fee, and other fees on their utility bills. Can you explain what that fee is and whether you would or not support removing it from the utility bills?
And it's not only, it is the ratepayers and the taxpayers and the people that I talk to that have brought this up to me, and they're wondering why there's a $50 charge on their over and above their utility bill. They're upset about that. I've run into people on a personal basis that have brought that up to me, and whether it's a fee or a tax, it's something that the city is collecting somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 to $5 million, and it's put onto the people that are paying the utilities, and they see it as something that's not right, not fair. The city should not be using their utilities as a way to collect taxes. So I would be agreed to have that rescinded and possibly phased out. So it's not a big hit to the city, but possibly phased out over the next 2 years so that that is gone completely.
Thank you very much. Where do you stand on funding for both new recreation centers and the maintenance of existing facilities in town?
I am on the side of maintaining the existing facilities as best we can and getting as much life out of those existing facilities. I think that's spending our tax dollars wisely. We can still explore the other recreational areas that we're looking at now, but I believe that, and we're going to get public input on that, but we're going to also have to make some pretty big money decisions on that as well. We need to collect a lot of information. We want to make sure that the facilities that we have, if they're underutilized, then we have to be going a little bit more careful on big expenditures until the facilities that we have are being fully utilized. However, if they're getting close to being fully utilized, then we need to start looking seriously at other recreational centers. And the other recreational centers, I am pro-recreation. The other recreational centers, I believe, will bring in more business and will make our city really stand out, and it'll be a real plus for our city. Just like the Big Marble Go Center is a big plus for us, and other facilities. And I think that's something that we don't want to just put on the back burner. We want to keep it on the front burner, but maintain our existing facilities first as best we can.
Thank you. Non-profit organizations play a vital role in supporting families, seniors, and vulnerable populations in our community. As a city councilor, how will you support and strengthen local partnerships with the local nonprofits to ensure that they have the resources and the recognition they need to continue serving effectively?
They are extremely important to Medicine Hat, and I think we need to lock arms is the best way, as much as we can with those organizations, nonprofits, and understand the role. So this will be, especially if you're a new councilor, you need to understand the roles and the importance that they are to Medicine Hat and the community. So learning to understand is, we're not all brought up to speed on all of the different agencies, but we need to be brought up to speed. And we need to understand where we can help out as a municipality and what we can do to help out by bringing in federal and provincial funds as well to keep those, strengthen those nonprofits and those agencies.
That's very good. That led right into the next question, actually, about advocating for provincial and federal assistance to receive support for the city of Medicine Hat. So that's a good answer. What do you hope to accomplish in your first 100 days?
Well, we're going to be working with the existing legislation, bringing ourselves up to speed as quickly as we can with that. We're going to be working on a budget. There'll be budgetary items that will be brought forward that we're going to have to understand how the budget works and how we're going to factor those items in, making sure that the priority is to the needs more so than the wants. So that will take up a good deal of time. Also, to go into the community and learn more about the agencies that are there, that are available, so that we're not duplicating. New counselors especially have to make sure that whatever we're looking at doesn't have duplication. Maybe we should be looking at these agencies and strengthening those agencies. So there's 100 days there.
That's a busy agenda, sounds of it, right?
Thanks.
Why should people vote for you and have confidence that you'll move Medicine Hat forward over the next 4 years?
Medicine Hat is looking for people that are going to be good stewards of their tax dollars and make good decisions. Experience will help. Those that are lacking experience at the municipal level will need to learn. Take each item and issue one at a time and learn to make good decisions. And you're working with your other counselors and you're listening to they're having to say their inputs. So I think I'm good in those areas. I can work well with others. I can do some critical thinking, and I know that you need to have as much information as you can to make an informed decision, so that we're not shooting in left field.
Very good, thank you. Can you share with us where voters can get more contact with you in your social media and various other mediums?
My website is called experiencematters.today. I'm on Facebook under Don Fedoruk, and my home number is, my cell number is 403-952-7382. So I want to be available to people and be able to give our attention. I think this is what all the counselors have to be able to. They have to realize that probably the number one issue with many of the citizens here in Medicine Hat is they need somebody that will listen to their concerns, their problems that are unique to them, and is willing to give their attention. So there's some avenues that people can get a hold of me and meet with me.
Did you want to repeat that phone number?
Phone number is 403-952-7382.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Don.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you.
I wish you best of luck in your candidacy. And thank you for joining us at Municipal Election Medicine Hat 2025.